The little girl stood in the middle of the crowded city square, holding her younger brother's trembling hand, while tears rolled silently down her dusty cheeks. In front of hundreds of strangers, she looked directly at one of the richest men in the country, a billionaire single father known for his cold heart, and made a request that stopped everyone in their tracks. She begged him to become her fake husband for just one day. The crowd laughed, cameras turned toward them, and people waited for the billionaire to reject her without a second thought. But when he finally answered, every person standing there fell into stunned silence, because his reply changed not only her life, but the lives of everyone who witnessed that unforgettable afternoon. Before we continue this emotional journey, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe to True Tale Time if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the incredible power of compassion. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories like this to life. The poor young woman was named Mireya, a 23-year-old who had spent most of her life caring for her little brother, Rowan, after losing both of their parents in a tragic factory accident. They lived in a tiny rented room at the edge of the city where the walls leaked every rainy season, but every morning they stepped outside with hope. Mireya worked long hours cleaning offices, washing dishes, and taking temporary jobs just to keep food on the table. She had sacrificed her education, her dreams, and even the possibility of love because Rowan depended entirely on her. Despite the hardships, she smiled every day, believing that kindness would eventually find its way back to those who never stopped giving it away. Across the city lived Adrian Vale, a billionaire technology entrepreneur who had built one of the country's largest companies after years of relentless determination. He was also raising his 8-year-old daughter, Elara, alone after losing his wife to a sudden illness. Wealth had surrounded Adrian with luxury, but it had never healed the emptiness inside his heart. Newspapers described him as distant and unapproachable, yet those closest to him knew he secretly visited children's hospitals and donated millions without revealing his identity. His daughter often reminded him that money could build houses but not homes, and her innocent words stayed with him every single day. One bright morning, Mireya received devastating news. Rowan needed urgent surgery after doctors discovered a dangerous heart condition. The operation could be funded by a charitable foundation, but there was one unusual requirement. The organization had been created to support legally married couples raising dependent children because it focused on complete family stability during recovery. Mireya had only 24 hours before applications closed forever. Every office she visited rejected her documents because she was unmarried, and every door seemed to close just as hope appeared. As fate would have it, Adrian attended a charity event organized by the same foundation. While television reporters surrounded him, Mireya gathered every ounce of courage she had left. She walked through the crowd wearing her faded blue dress, holding Rowan's hand tightly, and stood before the billionaire. Instead of asking for money, she asked him to become her fake husband so her brother could qualify for the surgery program. The request sounded unbelievable, and many people began recording the moment, expecting humiliation to follow. For several long seconds, Adrian remained completely silent. The cameras captured every expression on his face while the crowd whispered and laughed. Then he slowly looked at Rowan's frightened eyes and remembered the helpless look his own daughter had worn the day her mother passed away. Without worrying about public opinion, he quietly answered that he would never pretend to be someone's family because family was too precious to fake. The crowd thought he had rejected her. But before disappointment could consume Mireya, Adrian continued by saying he would not become her fake husband because instead he would personally ensure no child was denied life because of paperwork. His words echoed through the square, leaving everyone speechless. That afternoon Adrian contacted the foundation's board and revealed that he had anonymously financed most of its operations for years. He demanded immediate changes so deserving children would never again be excluded because of outdated policies. The directors agreed after realizing how unfair the system had become. Rowan's surgery was approved immediately, not because of a fake marriage, but because compassion finally defeated unnecessary rules. The following weeks became a season of healing. Rowan successfully underwent surgery under the bright summer sun that streamed through the hospital windows each morning. Adrian and his daughter visited often, bringing books, puzzles, and homemade lunches. Ilara quickly became Rowan's closest friend, while Mireia slowly discovered that genuine kindness often arrived from the people least expected. Adrian admired Mireia's strength, realizing she had faced impossible struggles without ever losing her gentle heart. Their growing friendship was built not on wealth or sympathy but on mutual respect, shared grief, and the determination to protect the people they loved most. Months passed, and Adrian offered Mireia a position managing community outreach for his charitable foundation. Her understanding of poverty helped transform the organization into one that truly listened to struggling families instead of hiding behind complicated regulations. Thousands of children received medical assistance because one brave young woman had dared to ask an impossible question in the middle of a crowded square. Adrian also found himself becoming a happier father as Ilara laughed more often, inspired by the warmth Mireia and Rowan brought into their lives. Their two families naturally blended through friendship, trust, and countless acts of kindness rather than obligation. People across the country never forgot the viral video from that sunny afternoon. At first they had expected to witness embarrassment, but instead they witnessed humanity. Schools used the story to teach compassion, businesses reviewed unfair policies, and countless strangers donated to children's hospitals after seeing how a single courageous request changed everything. Mireia's greatest lesson was that dignity is never lost by asking for help when it is needed to save someone you love. Adrian learned that true success is measured not by the size of a fortune but by the number of lives forever changed because of it. If this story has touched your heart so far, please support this video by liking it, sharing it with someone who needs hope today, subscribing to True Tale Time, and telling us your thoughts in the comments. Your support allows more inspiring stories to reach people who may need encouragement the most. Special request, please comment with the words, "Kindness always wins," if you believe one compassionate decision can change someone's entire future. As another beautiful day came to an end, the same city square where laughter had once mocked a desperate young woman became the place where families gathered every year for a charity celebration created in Rowan's honor. Children ran across the bright green grass, parents smiled with grateful hearts, and Adrian stood beside Mireia watching lives filled with hope instead of fear. No fake marriage had ever been necessary. What truly saved everyone was the courage to ask, the wisdom to listen, and the kindness to act. Sometimes the most shocking reply is not a simple yes or no, but a promise to change the world so no one else has to beg for compassion again.